we all are here today.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. For this cyber awareness session, the whole sole motive is to just aware you all, to make you understand that how the dynamics are in today's world, as we all are in the age of AI and digital age. So the whole sole motive is to aware. So, to introduce Vetsidas Legal, I would like to tell you that we believe in the fundamental value of justice. True to our name, Ved signifies the sacred knowledge, and Sidis, which is derived from the Estonian language, it means pious law. We are established in 2023. We are committed in making justice accessible through legal awareness, education, and empowerment through our campaigns and bridging the gap between the legal and the practical knowledge. Our mission is to bridge this gap and to bridge the theoretical learning with the real world and application, especially in the marginalized and underrepresented communities. As a part of this vision, our this cyber awareness workshop plays a crucial role in today's educating individual and digital security, data privacy, and legal dimensions of cybercrime. In today's rapidly evolving digital world, where everything is a single click away, we have a significant and a crucial responsibility towards watching what are we clicking on, how are we clicking on, and what all things do we need to take a check upon while clicking those links or however with this particular factor. So we are truly honored to have with us today our esteemed speakers, Ms. Priyanka Vaidhyanath, who is the director at COP Connect, and advocate Muskan Sharma, who is a research analyst at Cyberpeace Foundation, whose expertise will provide you valuable insights on all the important aspects of how these dynamics are changing, how you need to prevent yourself, and all the legal aspects of the cyber safety. We encourage all the participants to actively engaging in this session today, ask questions, and make the most of it. Once again, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you all. Welcome, Priyanka ma'am. Welcome, Muskan ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Anjali?
Srishti. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for the evening, Miss Priyanka Vaidhyanath. Ma'am is a national cybersecurity scholar and a cybercrime intervention officer. She is also a cyber lawyer associated with ISAC with hands-on experience in intervening in over 250 cybercrime cases, helping victims navigate complex digital threats. She is deeply passionate about speaking and has successfully delivered 150 plus cyber awareness sessions across the country, actively spreading awareness and empowering individuals to stay safe online. In addition to her expertise in cyber law and safety, she is also trained in professional ethics at the workplace CPEW with an AICTE approved certificate and bring with her 8 years of teaching experience at various institutions in Bengaluru. We are truly privileged to have such an inspiring and experienced personality with us today. Ma'am, on behalf of everyone present here, I warmly welcome you and request you to kindly take over the session.
Thank you so much,
Um,
Anjali.
just one
Yes.
second. Before we start with the session, I would request you all to please switch on your videos so that it could be an interactive session and we could all be here today in person. We can see each other and we could learn something. Also, before starting with the session, I would request you all to please switch on so that we can have a photo, a quick photo, so that we can move ahead with that. I request everyone to please switch on your videos so that we can have a click of the photo and we can move ahead. Okay, so on the count of 1 to 3, I will click the picture and then we will move ahead. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, we are done with the photo. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, you may continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First of all, my sincere appreciation and gratitude to Srishti for organizing this, and very warm welcome to you too, Muskan. Nice to meet both of you. Happy to share the forum with you. I have a little time constraint, so I'm going to limit my talk to 30 minutes. I hope I can convey the rightful things that I wish to convey within 30 minutes. Srishti, can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Gotcha. Yeah, just let me know once it's visible. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, visible.
So, visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you. Thank you, Srishti. So today my talk would largely focus on the kinds of cybercrimes that are happening and give you an exposure in terms of what are different ways, what are different kinds, and is there any way that we can protect ourselves. I am not going to touch about the legal aspect of it, though I also come from a legal background. I'm sure my co-speaker would be doing that. So I will limit myself only to the awareness part of cyber issues for the day. And anytime you feel any doubts, you can definitely drop a text in the chat box or stop me and ask me. Please feel free to do that. So starting off with one of the most basic and fundamental question, what is cybersecurity and how is it impacting us? I don't want to go to the textbook definition of any of the terms that we read today. In simple, let me tell you, cybersecurity is something that is impacting all of us in different states, in different ways. What do I mean by this is now let's take three stakeholders in a country, that is individuals. Let's take into consideration companies or organizations, and let's take into consideration the government, right? All the threes who have their major role to play in a country are equally vulnerable when it comes to cybercrimes. How is an individual vulnerable? I'm sure most of you are know today that cybercrimes hits us in different ways, be it financial frauds, be it sextortion, be it cyberbullying, or being addicted to tech, social media addiction, gaming addiction. There are different ways how individuals are being threatened by the whole cyberspace. When it comes to organizations, if you ask me, they are also subjected to cybercrimes in a way that most of us may not know, those of us who are not into cyberspace. Like, for example, let's say ransomware attack, right? Now, in simple, what is ransomware? You have some cyber crooks who would lock your files on your laptop so that you cannot function anything, and you need a key to open that. Now, these are the kind of crimes that majorly hit organizations and business. For example, something that I can give you in real time is Haldirams. Most of us know what they are. They are the sweet namkeen store. Haldirams was a victim of a ransomware attack, where for about a week they didn't know why is that they're not getting any orders. Only then they realized that they were a victim of the attack, and finally they know their way out. Right now, this is in the organizational level where even they become victims of cybercrimes. But when we look into a larger picture of government also becomes a victim of cybercrime in different ways. Like, for example, there are threats and attacks on the critical information infrastructure of the country. What do I mean by this is, for example, let's say our metro. Most of us use metro for our daily commute, right? So imagine someday that there is an attack on the metro and suddenly metro comes to a standstill. All of us who are inside the metro are stuck. We don't know how to get out. This can be an outcome of a cyber attack. There are cyber attacks on power grids. There are cyber attacks on sewage. There are cyber attacks on the oil plants, right? Like, we know what is happening currently in terms of the global politics. And when these kind of global geopolitics get affected, the threats on the other countries in terms of cyber attacks are even more. Right now, there are crooks who would want to attack the government websites. There are crooks who want to attack the banking so that they can siphon off money. There are different ways of cyber attacks that happen on a larger scale as well. In fact, even when the Operation Sindoor was happening on one end, we had our cybersecurity professionals defending the critical information infrastructure in India as well. Now, this is how cybersecurity is impacting all of us in different level and in different stages. Now, when it comes to the citizens, right? Every day in the newspaper, we have one or the other cybercrime news. Correct? It can be somebody who has lost money, maybe in digital arrest, or somebody who has lost money in n number of different kinds of modus operandi. But cybercrime news is something that all of us read in everyday daily newspaper. This is a small statistical report that I'm just flashing for all of you. This says citizens lost over 22,845 crore to cyber criminals in 2024. If you see the data in 2023, it was close to 7,000 plus crore. Can you see the jump from 7,000 crore to 22,000 crore in just 1 year, right? So this is expected to jump a little more too, correct? So what is that all of us need to do in order to save ourselves and in order to know that we don't become a victim of cybercrime is what my presentation today will focus on. This is just for your information that there are different forms of cybercrimes, like I mentioned, but broadly speaking, we consider it in two kinds. One is the financial frauds, one is the non-financial frauds, if I can broadly categorize it. When it comes to financial frauds, there are different kinds of crimes that can happen. Financial frauds can be in terms of phishing, OLX based scams. It can be in terms of wishing. It can be ransomware. It can be farming. There are different kinds of financial based cyber crimes that can happen. In terms of non-financial fraud, are the ones where money is not lost, but yet it is a cyber crime. Like, for example, sextortion, or for example, CSAM, that is child sexually abusive materials. Or it can be cyberbullying, cyber grooming. All of these come into the non-financial kind of cyber crimes. Is there anything specific? Is it only financial or non-financial that is targeted against an individual? We can't say that, right? But if you see the statistics, of course, the financial frauds are at a rise, whereas non-financial frauds mostly sometimes do not come into light because of the underreporting of cases. Most sextortion cases or cases where a woman's images are morphed or something like that, right? Women tend to not report it, which may lead to the graph being not equal. But the non-financial frauds are also equally in rise today. Now let's get into some of the real kind of crimes that I can expose all of you to, right? Um, something that is flashed on the screen is very simple to read. I'm sure all of you would have read it already, but I'll just read it out for all of you, right? It says, do you find this simple to read? Because of the phenomenal power of the human mind, most people do. What is happening here? It is easily visible that the letters are jumbled except for the first and the last letter. Did we find it difficult to read? I'm sure the most answer would be no. It is easy to read, though the letters are jumbled. Why is this? Because our mind and brains are trained in such a way, even if the middle letters are jumbled, we can still figure out and read it out. Why is that I'm using this is because it is this technique that is used in a crime called phishing, right? Phishing is nothing but where the cyber criminals use something called as a bait, as a small worm or something, which is put onto a hook, and they try to fish. If you know what is a conventional form of fishing, or if there are any young crowd here who have seen Tom and Jerry, you would have seen that in Tom and Jerry also, where Tom uses Jerry, which is hooked onto a small hook, throws it into water so that a fish comes and eats Jerry, right? It's same thing on the cyberspace as well. So what is happening here? Instead of Jerry, these kind of screenshots that you can see, these are the real-time evidences that I'm showing you. These are the ones that are sent to innocent people who will unfortunately go ahead, either click the link or respond to such messages and end up becoming a victim. Now, this is why this is called as phishing, right? Now, just for your information, right? Now, let me take into consideration the first screenshot that is put here, right? This one. Now, what is wrong here? This is a typical phishing message which reads, "Dear consumer, your electricity power will be disconnect tonight 9:30 p.m. from electricity officer because your previous month bill was not updated. Please immediately contact electricity officer helpline number so and so. Thank you." Now, if you can peacefully in a calm mind, if you can observe, there are so many things that are wrong in this message. For example, PM, for example, is not written like this, and there is no authority called as a electricity officer who can disconnect the electricity. They would give you an actual designation of an officer who is authorized to take away your electricity. Or if you can focus on the English, the grammar is not right. Correct. Now, these are the small little things that you can focus in terms of phishing to identify whether it is right or wrong. Of course, today, through the advent of AI, it is getting all the more sophisticated. But the moment when someone receives a message or a link, it is better that we kind of give a little more attention to it before acting upon it, right? Even if you see the subsidy for Indian oil, right? Here you can see that there is no way mentioned in the link that anywhere in the link that speaks about Indian oil, for example. These are few small little examples that I can give you in terms of how the phishing message would look like. Now, coming on to the next point is where all of us would have heard that our personal data is something that is extremely important, and we are in an era where our data is probably already breached. Now, why is that I am coming out with this point is our basic information, our personal information is already up online, right? Our name, our email ID, our phone number, our residential address, all of this is already put up on many platforms. Maybe Blinkit, Pizza Hut, Domino's, or Big Basket, Amazon, Flipkart, you name it, we mostly have put all our details up there. If at all there is a data breach, that is, if there's a leak in data from those kind of companies, what is happening? It is going to affect all of us, right? Because it becomes easier for cyber criminals to focus, oh, this is Priyanka, let me see what she's doing. They will look into my profile and then have a targeted attack against me. Now, our personal data, as I mentioned, is something that is extremely important for us to safeguard it in order to us not being a victim of a cyber crime. This is the link, right? Our data should be kept safer so that it is not leaked. If it is leaked, there is something called farming. They will farm us, they will see what we do, where we studied, where we are working, what is the potential of us going to a next company, what kind of company we may go to. All of these research are done on us by the cyber criminals, and then they will use this research to have a targeted attack to us. Now, does this mean we know that how safe is our personal information? Now, I already told you what is our personal information. Basically, I'm not going into the legal jargons here. I'm just saying that our personal information, like our full name, email ID, phone number, residential address, all of these are personal information, including our information such as our Aadhaar. Do we know where all our data is leaked? Do we know how many places our data is leaked, or which all are the companies through which, organizations through which our data is leaked? Are we aware of it? Is the question. So one of the simple thing that you can do is, of course, go to the website called Have I Been Pawned, put in your email ID, and it will give you the n number of places where the data is leaked. For example, this is, I put my own email ID, right? So there are places where my data is leaked. Now, what is that I should be doing? Technically, the best way to safeguard yourself is where try changing your password in all of those places where you come across your data is being leaked, right? Have I Been Pawned is one of the many tools that are available online for you to check where all your data has been leaked. Of course, there are other places where you can check it as well, but Have I Been Pawned uses the information from the open source, and that is how you can get to know where your data has been leaked. The other place where I would want all of you to check is, of course, the website called TAFCOP, TAFCOP, which is the government website which takes you to sancharisati.com. And why is this important? Let me tell you, right? There are many places where we give our ID card as that of Aadhaar. When someone asks for a proof of your identity, the one that we quickly give it out is our Aadhaar. Though we have our DL, we have our voter card, all of that, the first thing that we have in our hand is Aadhaar. Now, Aadhaar carries most of our sensitive personal information. It carries our biometrics, right, of everything. Second, it is that ID card which is linked to most of our bank accounts, which we all of us know, which has been made as a mandate by the government. Now, why is it I'm mentioning this to you is, if our Aadhaar card is leaked, number one, there can be a chance of financial fraud that can happen through Aadhaar. Number two, Aadhaar card can be used by the criminals for criminal activity. I'll come to what that is, right? Now, let me come to the first one in terms of financial fraud. I'm sure most of you have heard about RTGS, NEFT, which are all a way to do financial transaction. Similarly, there is another way to do financial transaction called AEPS, which stands for Aadhaar Enabled Payment System. Now, how does this work, or why is this even in place? First of all, is because government came up with a rule that, with the policy that to help rural India, using an Aadhaar, you can go to an ATM, withdraw money, right? Put in your fingerprint, use Aadhaar, withdraw money. Now, similar thing is being misused by cyber criminals, wherein our Aadhaars are leaked in different ways, different platforms, and so is our biometric. These two are used to withdraw money. Small real-time example as to how and where our Aadhaar card gets leaked. Now, this is the information that, in fact, I gathered from a law enforcement agency officer, a police officer, while speaking to him about a case. He says one of the most common place where our Aadhaar gets leaked is the stationery shops. Right? We go to get our ID cards, a copy, a Xerox copy, and maybe we would have asked for 2 copies. They would have taken 3 or 4 copies, kept in the machine. None of us would even check if there are more copies kept in the Xerox machine. Now, this is how the Aadhaar gets leaked at a very lower level, and that Aadhaar copy is then sold anywhere between 500 to 2,000 rupees, depending upon the age of the person whose Aadhaar is leaked, right? So this is how our Aadhaar gets leaked. Do cyber criminals use their own Aadhaar to get a mobile SIM card and commit a crime? Of course not. They would use all of our Aadhaar, which is leaked, to commit crimes. So this particular website called TAFCOP, which you can do it right away as we speak, go on to that, put in your mobile number, enter CAPTCHA, give the OTP. It will give you how many mobile numbers are given out on your Aadhaar card. Remember, I told you our Aadhaars are already leaked. Dark web already has our Aadhaar for sure, right? So using all of these, they would take a SIM card in our name, start committing crimes. There are about 3-4 cases that we handled in Bangalore itself, where police during the investigation end up knocking the door of an innocent person. They don't even know what is happening, but the last stage of the investigation would have led them to their house because the mobile number that was used was in their name. So to ensure that doesn't happen to all of us, log into this. This is a government website, and any mobile number that is not yours, right, kindly report it and government will take an action on it. Now, quickly, I'll move on to the different kinds of financial frauds, and I'll give you a small modus operandis are there. Now, this is one of the case of a financial fraud wherein the victim ended up getting a call from a fake police. I'm sure most of us know through digital arrest that faking a police officer has become a norm now, right? Now, she gets a call saying that they have got her card, and the card that you can see has her name printed on it, and they convince her that she has been a part of a money laundering scam, and there are about 20 lakhs of rupees in her account. Let me tell you, these criminals are extremely smart when they call and convince you. So is it for this lady. They end up sending a bank statement which runs to about 10-15 pages, convincing her that there is 20 lakh illegal amount in her account. And then this lady very innocently asks, can you please get me out of it? I don't know how I became a part of this crime, and I don't want, and help me out. Of course, the fake police who are cyber criminals, convince her saying that you send us 1 lakh rupees, all the FIRs that are against you, we will get it quashed. She ends up sharing 95,000 rupees, And as you can see here, right, they send a very beautiful screenshot of receipt to her. And again, if you can focus this receipt, it says Government of India, of course, Enforcement of Directorate. Technically, ED doesn't have an off in it. And the location says Supreme Court of India. I didn't know ED sits in Supreme Court's campus. And the pending amount should be updated by RBI, not the bank, but RBI has to update the pending amount. Now, look at the smartness. Look at how they kind of fool the innocent victims, right? Once she received this receipt, that lady, trust me, she was very happy that she received it and she was calm until she found out that after about, I think, 7 or 8 days, she realized that this was a fake thing and she came in contact to us, right? So, cyber criminals are extremely smart in leveling different kinds of crimes against us. Now, this is another evidence of typical digital arrest. I wish I had this interactive, but my time is very less. I have some other commitments, so I'm just quickly running through. Now, this is again, as I mentioned, another typical screenshot of digital arrest where a cyber criminal dressed as a police officer who is impersonating himself to be a police officer comes online. There are different ways how they convince the victim to come online, right? The initial call may say that there are n number of SIM cards in your name that we have seized. There are drugs in your name. There are parcels in your name. N number of ways how they convince these innocent victims to come on a call. And once they do come on a call, remember I had told you Aadhars are already leaked. They read out our exact name, our exact Aadhar number, and our residential address. The moment these things are blurred out from the other side, victims mostly believe that yes, this is a police officer and he knows all my details, and that is where they get caught. And this is a psychological manipulation that is done by cyber criminals. And of course, once they are caught, they will convince them that they are digitally arrested, keep them online for hours and days. One of the case, in fact, where we intervened, the victim was digitally arrested for 32 days. That is more than a month. Can you imagine that? So, and then they'll of course take away your money, give you mental torture, mental harassment. All of this happens, right? A very simple thing. If you get a WhatsApp call claiming from somebody to be a police officer, sending you all of these kind of evidences saying you have been arrested, do not bother, number one, to go online, go on video and get on a call with them. If they say that you are arrested, you have been caught, tell them in a very nice language, whichever police station it is, I'll come and address this issue, not on phone, right? Then just keep the call, just cut it out. And of course, you will have to report the number. There are ways online how you can report the number, though there is no financial fraud. But as a good citizen, it is good that we report because government do take action on such numbers being reported, right? Again, Sanchari Sati, which is by Department of Telecom, there is a way how you can report any of the phone numbers, email IDs, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook accounts that kind of harass you. You can report it and they do take action and pull it down. So for your information, I'll quickly run back through my slides. And if you can see here, right, it says more than 9.42 lakh SIM cards were blocked. Now, this blocking happens because of our action of reporting the unknown calls or calls that harass you, all of that. You know, this is the outcome of reporting, right? Reporting is extremely important. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next kind of an issue, that is scams that are based on APK. Now, if you can focus on all of these screenshots, right, it all ends with one thing, that is APK. The moment somebody downloads an APK folder, what is happening? You are downloading a folder onto your phone wherein you are giving access to whole of your mobile to somebody else. And who is the somebody else you're giving an access to? That would be the cyber criminal who's trying to, who is committing a crime against you. What happens when an APK folder is downloaded? There are different ways that can happen. In this particular case, the first screenshot I've put, this was a senior citizen who was in fact a retired bank manager. He downloaded this APK folder and he was convinced to switch off his phone for 8 hours. This poor senior citizen, he did. And within 8 hours, all the money that was there in his bank account was taken away. there was a FD with his wife, a fixed deposit. They have even availed an instant loan over his FD, right? So there can be n number of things that can happen once an APK file is downloaded. The images can be morphed. If you're a man, then instead of your image, they would see who's your female counterpart, right? It can be your mother, sister, wife, best friend, girlfriend, whoever is your female counterpart. They would morph their image to harass you. So kindly ensure that you don't click on any message that ends with APK. Now, what to do if at all you do? These are the two apps by the government, mKavach and eScan Mobile Security, which can do a simple threat run on your phone, and it will give you a report based on the simple threat run that it does, and you can take an action according to the report that you get. Coming across to the next kind of a financial fraud that can happen, which is the loan application fraud. Unfortunately, many people that we know, they end up taking loan on these kind of applications they find on Google Store or Apple Store. Now, these loan applications are very similar to APK. The moment you install it, you will also be installing a APK folder, giving access to your phone to them. These people who give you loan, trust me, they give you loan even up to 1 lakh. But when it's time that you pay back, that is when the harassment starts, right? The harassment starts again by morphing images, by harassing you for more money. You can do a simple Google search and see how many people have committed suicide just because of the loan application frauds, right? So simple tip, don't take loan from the Play Store or any apps that you find. Kindly beg, borrow from your own parents or friends, like an old school person. That is still better than actually downloading these kind of loan applications to avail loan. This is just a small screenshot of the kind of harassment that happens in these kind of financial frauds. It's better I don't read it out loud, but it is not very healthy for a person who undergoes this. This is the next kind of a scam that happens with regard to the fake job and trading. All that you would receive is one simple message saying, "Hi, how are you?" And if you do go ahead and end up responding to it, trust me, they convince any mentally healthy person also to invest in a stock market or in any kind of trading schemes wherein they end up defrauding you, right? Or if it is a fake job, if it's a part-time offer, I don't know if anybody has come across here, they will ask you to give reviews, ratings initially. That is how it would start. And they will ask you to give review, which in return, they will give you about 500 or 200 rupees. So they will show you money. They will convince you that they do pay you and eventually end up taking a lot of money from you and scamming you. So it's better that you don't invest in any of these kind of schemes unless you verify it from the right sources. This is another fake offer letter that you can see on the screen. If you can see here, unfortunately, this victim, they have asked for full body report, including MRI and all of it. Which company, tell me, asks for an MRI report when you want to join? So please be very careful. Do a thorough research if you're applying for jobs. Do your good background check, due diligence before you go ahead and share your very sensitive records. The last kind of crime that I would want to talk about is called sextortion. Sextortion is technically, when you break it out, it is sex plus extortion. They either extort or harass you for money, or they harass you for more pictures, more videos, and more images. This is what sextortion is. And sextortion usually happens in two kinds. One is where you have somebody who's known to you committed for mental happiness. Trust you me, this has happened in most of our cases that we have dealt with. This may be somebody who's your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or it can be maybe your boyfriend's friends or girlfriend's friends, anybody, right? So they will harass you by either morphing images, or maybe when you were in a relationship, you would have shared a nude image of yourself to your friend, your boyfriend, or either way, the other way around, and they will use that one image to harass you, right? The second way how sextortion happens is from an unknown person. How does this happen? Number one, Sometime you would have downloaded an APK folder. They would have access to your image, your photo. They would morph it and they would harass you. Or the second kind, how an unknown stranger can do this is through a WhatsApp video call, right? Now, I'll tell you the modus operandi, how it is when there is a WhatsApp video call. And unfortunately, here in this case, it was a minor who was a victim in this case that I'm narrating to you. This minor ends up getting a WhatsApp video call at about 10 o'clock at night when he's studying for his final exams, who's a 10th standard kid. Now he answers the WhatsApp video call thinking it is one of his friends who's calling. And when he answered, on the other side, there is a woman who is half naked. And this child quickly disconnects the call, of course, because he's scared, seeing something like that on the screen. Within seconds, they take screenshot. The moment they take screenshot, what is happening? The face of the child is seen along with the image, right? Then that person started harassing this child, saying, either you give me X amount of money, or I will go to a police station saying you asked me for sexual favors. Imagine happening this to a young boy. He did end up sending about 2.5 lakhs from his mother's phone, and eventually he ran away from his home, end up committing suicide. We lost the victim here. We were still doing the intervention, but he was mentally very low, and he ran away from home. We did a search operation for 2-3 days. Finally, we ended up finding his body. So a very, very, again, an unfortunate situation, but this is how different kinds of sextortion modus operandi can happen. This is another, again, example of sextortion where a victim here is, again, a boy whose Gmail was hacked. And that's how they found his image and they started harassing him. They had access to his contacts, they had access to his image, and they ended up harassing him for money. This is another similar case. This is a case where a girl who is the victim here, she was not even having a social media account. Her friend put her image to wish her on her birthday. Okay, imagine this girl doesn't even have a social media account, and that image was used to morph, and they started harassing her. Right? They artificially morphed her image, and they harassed her for a very long period. But somehow we could figure out who that person is, and we found out the answer. So one thing all of us need to keep in mind is a concept called digital consent. If we are putting somebody else's image on our status, or we are wishing them good luck, happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever that is, right? Kindly take their consent before even you do so, because your action may put somebody else in danger. Let us not get into such a situation. Now, what is the way out in case there is an artificially imaged morph or a nude images that comes up online? The first thing that I would recommend, and in fact, even I have it on my mobile, if you can see, I'm not sure, is a small sticker that you can put it on your front camera, which will save you a lot of deal, right? Front cameras are most vulnerable, and there are many applications you would have given camera permission. So you never know where, how, and how, when, why we are being spied on. So it's better that you have the small sticker paste on your front camera, which can save us. Second, you have these two websites, stopncii.org and Take It Down, wherein quick action will be taken to pull down your images. We also have recent laws, maybe our co-speaker will speak about it, wherein a quick reporting, if it is done in the right forum, that particular social media will also take down the image at the appropriate quick time, right? So what you have to do in case somebody becomes a cybercrime victim, first is, if you get to know somebody who's a cybercrime victim, ensure that you give them the mental strength and mental support, because they would be in a very vulnerable state of mind. Next is chronology. Anywhere you go to report a crime, either you go to police station or you report it online, they would ask for a chronology, right? What happened? When did it happen? How did it happen? What time is it? Give the UPI IDs, transaction IDs. All of these details become very important. So that is called as a chronology. It is extremely important when in case of a cybercrime. Next is, when it comes to reporting. See, when it comes to reporting a cybercrime, there are main three ways how you can do it. One is where you go to a police station. Second is you report it on 1930, or you report it online. That is cybercrime.gov.in. But keep in mind there are also redressal forums on the respective social media platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. All of these places have their own redressal mechanisms. It is still better that you reach out to the redressal mechanisms of the appropriate platform and likewise do your complaint. And when you go to the when you go to the police station, again, there are two kinds. One is your local jurisdiction, and one is the SEN police station, that is cyber economic and narcotic police station. It depends upon the loss of financial loss. Based on that, they would appropriate police station will take up the case. So coming to my last end of my presentation, through ISAC, we train people to become cybercrime intervention officers. I urge all of you to explore the ISAC website and see if you all can also be a CCIO. What happens here, we train all of you to become somebody who is well aware of cyberspace, cyber issues. You can end up even helping other cybercrime victims. We have trained about 23,000 plus cybercrime intervention officers in India till today. Of course, this is how the certificate and badge, your card would look like. The other thing I would want to also let you know is most of you are from legal background here. We run a program on cyber law and data protection, which covers the hands-on and real-life practical ways of how to deal with issues from evidence collection, evidence protection, AI issues, online dispute resolution, which is about a 1-month course. And just for the participants who are a part of today's session, we would like to offer a discount of 25%. I've mentioned this to Srishti also. So please make use of this. The details, you can write about your interest to any of these email IDs. You will get a response to it. I will stop my presentation here. Any questions or any interactions, I am willing to do so.
So we have one question. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for such a beautiful way for telling us and awareing us about all the crimes. So we have
Thank
one
you so
question here. How
Yes.
does AI increase cyber risks like phishing and deepfakes, and how does India address them through the Information Technology Act 2000 and the Data Protection Act 2023 and the Indian Computer Emergency?
Okay. AI does increase the risk of cyber crimes. There is no doubt about it. Especially as you mentioned, deepfake and voice cloning. All of this is something that is going to happen. Yes. What is the way out? How do we help ourselves is, of course, through awareness and alertness. This is something that we always stress. Awareness alone, standalone, doesn't help. It has to be alertness along with awareness in terms of how we can quickly react to it, how alert we are to realize that this is something fake and this is not real, right? When it comes to IT Act, technically nothing much changes because at the end of the day, either using AI or not using AI, um, AI or no AI, it is still a crime. So that doesn't change, right? Using AI for phishing or using non-AI for phishing, a crime is a crime. So it doesn't change much. It would be the same provisions of IT Act which would apply. I will go off screen. I'm sorry, my kid is around. Don't mind.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Priyanka. We will take all other questions further. So the
Yes.
certificate link will be provided to you later. The certificate link will not be provided for now. It will be the attendance link which will be provided. So you just wait for some time and please move ahead. Any questions are there? So we are good to. Okay. We have one question from Ritika Kaushal. Uh, how can an ordinary citizen protect themselves when they are not even aware of the preventive steps you mentioned?
Okay, Ritika, firstly, I would say congratulations on coming onto such platforms where you're eager to learn about how to safeguard yourself and what are the preventive steps, right? It is as simple as self defense online. If you don't learn it, you will not know it, right? These are the right things, right steps you're trying to do. Attend more of such sessions that are hosted, because it is through these sessions that we kind of learn more. Maybe there are something more that even I don't know, right? Eventually we will learn. It is only through these discussions, these forums, that we get to know what are the ways we can help ourselves, save ourselves, and in turn, of course, save and help the community. And also all the things that I spoke, and there are more, in fact, which is open source, right? Just any day when you're free, go to the website of NCRP, go to the Telecom Regulatory Authority TRI website. It tells you what are the tools that are available in open source to save yourselves, including, in fact, I didn't mention in my PPT today, there are ways how to figure out the SMS that you get, right? Whether it is true or not. There are ways how you can check it. So all of this is already available. All you need to do is show similar interest, attend sessions, go online, do a normal check, and you will figure out a way out. I hope I have answered your question, Ritika. Thank you.
Yes, very well. One shout out to Ritika. She's our team member. She's our core member, and who have
Wonderful.
made a video on this cybercrime itself when she was our intern a year
Wonderful.
back. So that
Wonderful.
video is already put on our YouTube. So congratulations, Ritika. Now the next question is, what measure we take to stop these kinds of crime, and how come we know that why these crime is committed?
Okay, why this crime is committed is a psychological factor, let me tell you. Right? Even before we had crimes, we had theft, burglary, dacoity that is being turned out to the online space. Why is it committed? Greed, need, all of the psychological factors that that comes into picture. How can we stop this? See, all of us as Indian citizens collectively, we cannot stop criminals from committing crime. But what can we do? We can take necessary steps in order to report it. Either you have lost money, you have not lost money, right? Either you know somebody who has gone through an issue but they are fearing to report. Give them the right support to report it. Unless cybercrime is reported, and corrective measure or an action cannot be taken either from the government or from the law enforcement agencies. So either any phone number, UPI ID, as I mentioned, right? You come across which is harassing, threatening, or committing any crime, you as a good Samaritan just report it on the right platform. That itself is good enough for us to take first step in preventing it. Second is where I would request all of you here to undergo more sessions and start creating awareness in your own groups, maybe in your own family. We have people as cybercrime intervention officers, in fact, wherein they call the elderly to their own home, give them a small gyan, and send them back. Correct? So, their own ways of giving awareness. I'm not telling go and speak in a forum where there are 100 plus people. Even if it is 5 people where you can speak about whatever you have learned, the ways how they can protect, that would be good enough. Thank you. Srishti, I would request if there are any more questions, they can email it to me. As I mentioned, there is time
Yes.
constraint and we have other speaker. I don't want to take her time as well. I respect hers as well. And I would sign off in a while.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Priyanka ma'am, for being here and awareing us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anjali, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Advocate Muskan Sharma. Muskan Sharma, ma'am, is currently a Master of Laws candidate at Himachal Pradesh National Law University, Shimla, specializing in business law with a strong focus on international trade law and intellectual property rights. She completed her BLLB Hons from GLA University, Mathura. And during her academic journey, she has gained valuable practical exposure by interning with prestigious organizations such as Competition Commission of India, senior advocates, and the law office of Alok Jain. She has worked extensively on contentious matters related to copyright, trademark, and patent laws. showcasing her deep understanding of IPR. Her research interest primarily focus on strengthening IPR framework in the era of artificial intelligence and the creator driven digital economy, along with exploring the involving relationship between international trade law and IPR. We are truly delighted to have such a knowledgeable and dedicated speaker with us today. Ma'am, on behalf of everyone present here, I warmly welcome you and request you to kindly take over the session, please.
Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And first of all, I would like to thank Priyanka ma'am. I quickly changed sites. I was taking the session and not preparing to take the session. I took her session. And, it was not long ago that I was taking these sessions, and it takes me back to this journey. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I would like to start the session by taking a question that was, if I'm not wrong, by Gaurav, and that is on AI. How artificial intelligence turns over the cybercrime issue over its head, the paradigm, right? First of all, I would like to ask ma'am here, like the audience, the language which they are comfortable with. Should I go forward with Hindi or English or both?
I believe, ma'am, it's bilingual, so we can go ahead with that.
Definitely. So I was reading the profiles of the people they were sharing in chats. There are few professors here, and I wonder. I'm a student of law, and I'm certainly not equipped to tell you everything that there is about cybercrimes. But one thing I tell you, that maybe it does not directly affect your life because you think that you are so safe, until or unless a cybercrime touches our life. But artificial intelligence must be touching your life, right? You must be on ChatGPT searching something. You must be using Gemini for creating images. You must be creating PowerPoint presentations. So no matter what you think or what you, feel, your data is out there. And Priyanka ma'am was correct. Your Aadhaar cards are already on the dark web, whether you realize or not. You create so many passwords, but you definitely, right. So, coming to the artificial intelligence part, I think what artificial intelligence does is industrializes cybercrimes. So, in the few of the images, you guys must have noticed that phishing, in the crimes of phishing, there are a few apparent mistakes by the cybercrime offender. But what artificial intelligence does is that it leaves no space for that mistake. It gives you a flawless method for that phishing. So basically, it will create AI clones, voice chatbots that are so identical to the police professional or how they would talk, is that somewhere in that line you lose the difference. And that is what artificial intelligence does. And that is where cybercrime becomes much more a threat than it was a few years ago. So yes, if that answers your question, in short, it industrializes cybercrimes. Now, moving on to my presentation, remaining why I am here is to give you legal recourses, how you can report cybercrimes, what is the f- what so this is a cyber first responder program. So what can be your first response as soon as you become the victim of a crime? You must know that how to solve it, how to search for a legal recourse. And I think the whole idea behind this presentation is that you do not have to search long, do not be confused, and the legal recourse is right there with your hand. So I'll share my presentation here.
In the meantime, just one announcement. All of you, you don't have to worry about the attendance list and the feedback form. It will be shared to you. There is very important information being shared to you. So please understand and please go ahead with that first. Then you will be getting the attendance form.
So, is my presentation visible?
Yes, your presentation is visible.
So I will start off where Priyanka ma'am dropped off, right there. And so basically, she introduced all the crimes that could happen to you, all the financial frauds, all the she shared about digital arrests, phishing attacks, or especially targeting senior citizens and innocent people, children. So the first of all, you have to understand that the legal recourses available are not made in a manner that are tricky. They are made very simple. They are made simple to as to not confuse the larger audience. The only gap that remains within the legal recourses available to you and your solution is your awareness. As soon as you know that there is a certain remedy that is available right at your hand, and the very phone that might lead to that cybercrime is the only solution that you have, the problem is solved. So there are a few uh, tips and tricks which you must use when you are on social media, that is different passwords for different social media accounts. Use password managers, very important. So actually we had one of the sessions previously, and the best trick that you can have is a strong password. uh, a quick combination of special characters, capital spaces, uh, special characters, numbering will never go to waste. It will increase and strengthen your security twofold. So analyze device behavior. You must go through thorough security checks every now and then. Use two or multi-factor authentication. Don't accept friend requests from unknown people. Keep accounts private if you have public accounts. So basically everything. Um, um, Everything that you already know, that talking to strangers, people you do not know, may hold you vulnerable on social media. Like social media is a space which people use as a thunderous way of sharing your personal information, like nobody is going to care. But people always forget that once you post on social media, that digital footprint will always be there. Once it is on the internet, it never gets off the internet. You will never be able to pull the information out of social media. So one has to be very careful with the social media, the content that you put on social media, and definitely the people that you add on social media. Moving on. Now, what I am here is for, let's say, God forbid, a cybercrime happens. Either it is petty, small, or genuinely scary, but it does not matter the seriousness of the crime. The only thing that matters is the steps that you take. You have to report every small inconvenience that you account for on social media. That is where change begins. So, first of all, the few of the old school recourses is that you talk to your parents, you confide with your parents, you confide with your family, friends, and then you report on platforms. So Priyanka ma'am in her session asked me to tell you about how you can report to social media intermediaries. So if you're on Instagram has their own way of reporting those cyber crimes. You need not go to any government based portal. You don't have to take a legal recourse, file an FIR. You just have to open your Instagram, go to help, report anything that bugs you, report anything. You just have to take a screenshot of what went wrong and upload it and report it to Instagram. That's all you have to do. And with the information technology intermediary guidelines that came and was enforced in 2025. So the provision I will tell you is it is Rule 31D, and under that, any social media intermediary becomes responsible. And in fact, it mandates due diligence. It mandates you to not host anything that might be defamatory or against the reputation or against the norms of any social media decency, morality, dignity of any individual. And then suppose you, even after all these recourses, you do become a victim of a cybercrime. What happens then? And the simple procedure is that you file a report. No if or no but. There's no complication. Filing FIRs and filing complaints have to be destigmatized. The police recourses, the legal enforcement recourses are always there to help you. Report to police or cyber helpline. Now, one part where one of the questions was why cybercrime is so different from traditional crimes. The reason is that within traditional crimes like murder, there's always a jurisdiction involved. Apparent jurisdiction is where the victim lives, is where the murderer lives, and where the murder happens. Very clear cut borders. Borders of all the people that were involved. But within cybercrime, an issue of anonymity comes in. कोई नहीं जानता that who is the offender, where वो फेक डॉक्यूमेंट्स यूज कर रहा है, वो उसने बहुत सारे अपने आईपी ट्रेस करने वाले वीपीएन्स यूज कर रखे हैं. व्हाट डू यू डू देन? उस अनोनिमिटी को ब्रेक करना ही साइबर क्राइम की एक इकलौती चुनौती है. एंड द थिंग इज दैट इट इज बॉर्डरलेस बिकॉज इंटरनेशनल एजेंसीज आर इन्वॉल्व्ड. So basically, lots of traffic from data from China, Myanmar, lots of phishing crimes happen from all over the world. That's where the trouble with cyber crimes comes in. Now, coming to our topic, is that what are cyber cells? So cyber cells are not isolated. They are definitely the fundamental part of a law enforcement agency. They are as much a law enforcement agency as any other unit. For example, as in far where a drug crime is involved, there'll be other agencies जो उन psychotropic substances से involved होंगी. वैसे ही अगर आप एक cyber crime करेंगे तो कुछ forensic channels चलेंगे जो आपका फोन लेंगे, उस फोन का IP logs, उस फोन के IMEI नंबर, उस फोन के जो पॉकेट डेटा होता है, जो डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट होता है, उसको फॉरेंसिक वे में एनालाइज करेंगे. और वो कौन करेगा? दैट आर साइबर सेल्स. So they are specialized units. They are specialized in including handling cybercrime cases, including fraud, hacking, identity theft, online abuse, and financial crimes. So what they do is that they use digital forensic tools. They trace IP addresses, recover deleted data, analyze devices, and preserve evidence legally. So the biggest and the most important thing, if there any is in cybercrime, is the evidence. So what happens is, for example, anyone becomes a victim of sextortion. right? Um, for example, take me. If I become a victim of extortion, if I would like to forget about it. If I paid the extorter the money, I would like to forget about it and delete all the evidences from my phone. I would not like to keep it, and it is a bad memory for me. And I would like to delete every trace that I became the victim of a crime, and that is where your evidence is lost, that you may not be able to prove that you became the victim of a crime if needed be. So, um, cyber cells use advanced digital forensic tools to trace IP addresses, recover deleted data, analyze devices, and preserve evidences legally. Now, coming to how cyber cells operate. I think let me first try to interact with you that how many of you know about helpline numbers?
You
Do
can
you,
raise.
like, if anyone on chat would like to be present and say heads up, we know about 1930, we know about 112, we know about National Cyber Crime Portal. Okay, right. So 1930 is the cybercrime.gov.in, the official helpline number for which the government uses so that you can report cybercrime. It is the only and one number. There's no other realer agency, while there are many accounted for agencies, but if you are looking for a very credited government agency to step in, you want to report it, then that's where National Cybercrime Portal comes in. So, is my PPT still visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay. Yes. So basically, 1930 and victim assistance, right?
Now it is not visible.
Right. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I would not like to show anyone just talk in a vacuum. I would like to take a minute and show how it all works. Everything is interconnected, and I would take a moment and see that where exactly these cyber cells exist. If you do not know that, maybe my session won't be as fruitful as I would like it to be. Is See, so this is the cybercrime unit for Delhi Police, intelligence, fusion, and strategic operations. And these are the list of cyber cells that exist in Delhi. Depending on the districts, the areas, they are divided. And that is how accessible the government is making for you to seek recourses for cybercrime, to seek help for cybercrimes. If you encounter any cybercrimes, that is how important becomes that you reach out. Now, this is I have done a few sessions before, and I have realized in the past couple of sessions that while there are a lot of awareness sessions, there still remains a gap between people and the session takers and the government and the audience and the victims. That for people, it is still very difficult to, they'll be like, oh, we'll have to accumulate all the evidences ourselves. We have to take note of everything. We have to give our personal details. We have to upload Aadhaar. There are a lot of things that the police will come to visit you. A lot of stigmas that are attached with reporting any crime. So it must be so hard to file a cyber crime complaint, since I am not an expert, but it does not need you to be an expert. It just need you to take the first step and go and report the cybercrime. So I'll take you step by step that how a cybercrime complaint is filed. So here is a step by step procedure on how to lodge cybercrime complaint on GOI portal. So before lodging the complaint, please ensure these are the following documents. And since DPDP is now in enforcement, government is even more accountable that your Aadhaar card details, and in fact, even in the absence of DPDP, if you report a cybercrime, only your Aadhaar details, your personal details are taken to solve the crime that you have become the victim of, not to accumulate information on the crimes happening. That is not how it is done. So if you do happen to submit your personal details, it will only be used to solve that particular cybercrime that you have become the victim of. So your personal details, and in fact, let's come here and see. As soon as you open the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, there'll be a division. एक बहुत ही important bifurcation है crimes में. Is that either it is a women or children related crime, or it is a financial fraud, and the third one is miscellaneous, that it is any other cybercrime. Now, if you see, if the cybercrime, if आपके साथ ऐसा कोई क्राइम हुआ है जो इन्वॉल्व करता है या तो विमेन को या तो चिल्ड्रन को, तो यू हैव एन ऑप्शन टू रजिस्टर अनोनिमसली एंड रजिस्टर इन ट्रैक, राइट? चैट में किसी ने पूछा था कि रजिस्टर अनोनिमसली में और रजिस्टर इन ट्रैक में क्या डिफरेंस होता है. तो रजिस्टर अनोनिमसली का मतलब ये है कि आपको अपनी डिटेल्स, आपको अपना नाम, आपको अपनी चीजें देने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको अपनी एक्सटेंसिव इंफॉर्मेशन देने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको बस वो इंसिडेंट रिपोर्ट करना है जो आपके साथ हुआ है. एंड सिंस आप कंफर्टेबल नहीं हो एज अ वुमेन, एज अ चिल्ड्रन, इतनी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन डाइवर्ज करने के लिए, तो आप बिना उस इंफॉर्मेशन को दिए भी कर सकते हो. एंड you can register or track. ये होता है that once you register your complaint, you can track the status of your cybercrime complaint. वो किस पोजीशन में है, वो कब सॉल्व होगा, क्या लीड्स हैं, सारी चीजें. And there comes financial fraud. So in case of financial fraud, if you can see on my slide, is that you'll need the name of the bank, wallet or merchant. You'll need a 12-digit transaction ID or UTR number. So when you become a victim of a financial fraud, you'll have all this information. You will not have to look through twice. As soon as you become a financial fraud, there'll be a transaction which will be attached to that cybercrime. For example, a person calls you and asks you for an OTP. तो आपके बैंक स्टेटमेंट में एक जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन होगी, उससे एक ट्रांजैक्शन नंबर जनरेट होगा. वही आपका एविडेंस है, वही यूज किया जाएगा उस क्राइम को सॉल्व करने के लिए. Then also, I have this real life example where a man in Pune was cheated of 4.5 lakh rupees. एंड फाइनेंशियल फ्रॉड में एक टर्मिनोलॉजी होती है विच इज कॉल्ड द गोल्डन आवर रिस्पॉन्स. So what this man did is that this person, this genuinely talking, genuine बैंक एजेंट ने पुणे में एक इंसान को कॉल किया फॉर अपडेटिंग द केवाईसी डिटेल्स. एंड उस तरीके का कॉल था दैट द अदर पर्सन ऑन द अदर साइड ऑफ द कॉल वाज sounding very genuine. So this person, this man in Pune, gave all his details and he was defrauded of 4.5 lakh rupees. What this man did is that within एक घंटा of this crime, which is the golden hour, in a financial fraud, आपका जो first mover advantage होता है, that is everything. अगर आपने उस पहले एक घंटे में, पहले 2 घंटे में तुरंत आरबीआई को, तुरंत बैंक्स को, तुरंत साइबर क्राइम कंप्लेंट फाइल कर दी, तो देर इज अ बेटर चांस दैट दैट मनी ना ही वो सामने वाले के अकाउंट में क्रेडिट होगी और वो फ्रीज कर दी जाएगी ट्रांजैक्शन, एंड द मनी विल बी सो basically this is what happens in the case. The person is then credited his 2 lakhs back. He gets his 2 lakh back because उसने एक ही घंटे में अपनी साइबर क्राइम कंप्लेंट फाइल कर दी. एंड व्हाट हैपेंड इज, जब ट्रेस किया गया तो दैट पर्सन, द ट्रांजैक्शन डिटेल्स वाज टेकन, फोन नंबर ट्रेस किया तो इट वाज टेकन फ्रॉम फेक डॉक्यूमेंट्स, बट IMEI नंबर जो हर फोन का एक डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट होता है, एक फिंगरप्रिंट होता है हर फोन का, IMEI नंबर, उससे उस फ्रॉड को, उस ऑफेंडर को ट्रेस किया गया. एंड ऑब्वियसली इट वाज अ साइबर क्राइम क्लस्टर इन जामतारा जो जहां पे ट्रेस किया गया. एंड देन जो भी साइबर क्राइम ऑथोरिटीज, जो पुलिस ऑथोरिटीज ने थी, दे डिड अ रेड एंड इट वाज जस्ट अनदर साइबर क्राइम क्लस्टर ऑपरेटिंग अपने उसमें. एंड so this is what happens. The messaging is that you must, as a, even if you become a victim, even if you have innocent parents, grandparents, you have to tell them that if they do receive any fake calls, if they cannot report it themselves, they must inform you. And as educated as you may be, still the educated lot is becoming a victim of these cyber crimes. So it becomes necessitated that you know that these recourses are available at your dispense. Now, so this is how the first part of the form looks like. There'll be, like, you'll have to give the approximate date and time of the incident, very easy, जब आपके साथ crime हुआ. Reason for delay in reporting, I hope there is no delay in reporting. I suggest there must not be any delay in reporting. From your state, your union territory, your district, पुलिस स्टेशन जो आपके सबसे नियरेस्ट हो, इंसिडेंट कहाँ हुआ, अगर इंस्टाग्राम पे हुआ, उसका यूजर नेम क्या है, बहुत बेसिक डिटेल्स जो आप डाइवर्ज कर सकते हो, दैट इज टेकन इन द फॉर्म. बट दैट इज नॉट ऑल. So now coming to report abuse to social media intermediaries. So that is not a private website. This is handled by IFOC. This is handled by Ministry of Home Affairs. This is handled by Government of India itself. And it says on its website that these are the social media intermediaries, social media platforms that you must be using. You must have these on your phone. You must have Telegram. You must have WhatsApp. You have Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatsoever. Now, if you have these on your phone and you become a victim on any of these social media intermediaries, आप victim बनते हो, तो what you do is आप नेशनल साइबर क्राइम रिपोर्टिंग पोर्टल खोलिए. उसमें एक ब्लॉग है which is said that you can report your abuse to any of these social media intermediaries. आप जिस भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपने अब्यूज फेस किया है उसका बटन दबाइए और तुरंत वो आपसे पूछता है कि आपने कोई ऐसा इमेज देखा, आपको किसी ने इनडिसेंट इमेज भेजा हो, इनडिसेंट मैसेज भेजा हो। वो उन सारी चीजों को आपके बेनिफिट के लिए डिवाइड करता है कि आपने अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे ऐसा क्या फेस किया जो या तो हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं या तो बेटर कर सकते हैं। इनफैक्ट अगर आप अपनी इंस्टाग्राम जो एल्गोरिथम चलता है, द मोस्ट फेमस एल्गोरिथम दैट इज ऑन, अगर एल्गोरिथम आपको जस्ट इन केस कुछ गलत पुश भी करता है तो यू हैव एन ऑप्शन दैट यू डू नॉट सी दीज काइंड ऑफ इमेजेस अगेन। So it becomes important that you use these kind of resources, and no one is going to use these resources for you. You must be vigilant. You must be very, very vigilant yourself. In the age of artificial intelligence, in the age of lot of cyber crimes happening all around the world, you must be vigilant, very vigilant yourself. Now, this is how the rest of the forms look like. Now, I have a document here, which is a very, like, it is out there, but it is a very important document which shows, which basically in simple words explains कि 1930 की हेल्पलाइन होती है जिसपे फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको फॉर्म नहीं भरना। फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज माई मदर, योर फादर, they don't want to fill the whole form. So what do? You call 1930, you call 1930 and you report that incident. That is as simple as it sounds. You do not take a minute. यू डू नॉट थिंक कि शायद वो पैसे वापस आ जाएंगे, शायद हम कल जाके बैंक को बताते हैं कि हमारे साथ ये हुआ है। नो, दैट इज वेयर द गैप कम्स इन, जहां आप अपने थॉट्स को प्रोसेस करने में एक दिन लगाते हैं, वहां साइबर क्राइम ऑफेंडर ऑलरेडी दूसरे विक्टिम पे मूव ऑन कर चुका होता है। They do not wait for you to gather up the courage or bravery, you be brave that we'll report this. That is not how it works. The minute that you become the victim of a crime, you must, if it is a financial fraud, I repeat myself, that you must go to the nodal officers of RBI. They are almost 24/7 available at your recourse. You call them, you tell them, the bank जिसमें आपका अकाउंट था, आप उसके ऑफिसर्स को, उसके कस्टमर सर्विसेज को तुरंत इन्फॉर्म करते हैं दैट यू बिकेम a victim of such and such crime, and they freeze that transaction almost always. And the timeline is 24 hours. So basically, then, so there's this video that I wanted to show. Like, I'll start it somewhere around from between.
मैं निकल ही नहीं पाई। इसके बाद बात और बिगड़ने लगी। वो मुझे फिजिकल रिलेशन बनाने के लिए ब्लैकमेल करने लगा, बट आई हैड हैड इनफ। मैंने कहा तुम्हें जो करना है करो, मैं अब तुम्हारी बात नहीं मानती। आई केम आउट ऑफ इट। मुझे लगा सब ठीक हो गया, मगर आज उसने मुझे एक लिंक भेजी। उसने जो कहा वो सच हो गया। उसने मेरी पिक एक पॉर्न साइट पर अपलोड कर दी। मेरे फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली को अगर ये बात पता चल गया तो मेरा क्या होगा दी? आई एम फिनिश्ड, आई एम फिनिश्ड। चुप हो जा तू, चुप हो जा। कुछ नहीं होगा तुझे, मैं हूं ना तेरे साथ। किसी को कुछ नहीं पता चलेगा। बट दी, अब मेरी बात ध्यान से सुन। ज्यादातर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स और पॉर्न साइट्स पे वायोलेशन ऑफ प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी के नाम से एक फॉर्म होता है। अगर किसी के फोटोज या वीडियोस उसकी मर्जी के बिना उन साइट्स पे डाली गई हो तो इस फॉर्म को फिल करके हम 24 घंटे के अंदर उन फोटोज और वीडियोस को डिलीट करवा सकते हैं। रियली दी? हाँ बिल्कुल। वैसे अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स में इस फॉर्म का नाम अलग अलग होता है। अब्यूज फॉर्म, कंटेंट टेक डाउन फॉर्म, इसके अलावा कॉपीराइट वायोलेशन और इन्फ्रिंजमेंट ऑफ कॉपीराइट के सेक्शन के अंदर भी ये हो सकता है। तो तुझे बस ये फॉर्म फिल करना है और तेरी सारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगी। इसके अलावा किसी भी तरह के सेक्सुअल अब्यूज को हम साइबर पीस हेल्पलाइन नंबर 9570000066 पे कांटेक्ट करके बता सकते हैं, या तो नेशनल साइबर क्राइम पोर्टल पे भी रिपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच दी, यू सेव्ड माय लाइफ। मेंशन नॉट बहना, मगर आगे से किसी से दोस्ती करने से पहले उसे परख जरूर लेना ताकि फॉर्म्स की नौबत ना आए। श्योर दी, थैंक यू।
So basically, a lot of these videos are always circulated online, and probably it is on our mistake that we do not take them seriously and we do not have a friend, you know. Yeah. So let me take a minute and show the presentation again. Right. So basically, as you saw in the video, not all of us have friends that we confide in. You know, there might be people that children do not have such friends that they inform them of such violation of privacy forms, but they do exist. Like I told you that the all of these social media platforms have their own resources available, but the most simplest thing and the most heavily available method is the government itself. They have made it way easier, especially for women and children crimes. They have made it way easier that you report these crimes and you do so in a very brave and courageous manner, that this is what incurred, this is what your details are. And I would like, because it out of no mistake of my own, this has happened to me, and this is something that you do not take up on yourself, that you know I became a victim because I was at fault. That is not how it works. You became a victim because someone other than you was at fault. So you must take that in mind. Definitely, if you feel free, use the register anonymously option. Give whatever incident details that you are feeling ready to divulge, or better not, call 1930 and report the cybercrime. They might even direct you to a legal aid, to a woman who is more, equipped to help you in these matters. So never back down from taking any help in these matters. Now, moving on. I think I do not have, to go into the provisions deeply, but I will tell you what the frameworks are at your dispense, always at your dispense, is that IT Act, Information Technology Act 2000. It does not definitely, have a big distinction on artificial intelligence provisions, and it is not a technology based act. It is a blanket act that protects you, all your computer resources, from any kind of breach, any kind of privacy violation, and any kind of threat per se that you may incur. So it is a very broad and very blanket coverage act. And everything, you can report almost everything that happens to you, whether your computer resource or your privacy is violated by any platform. You can go under IT Act. There are also many rules and guidelines attached with the IT Act now. So you can go under those. Then there's obviously always Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita now, formerly IPC, and POXO Act, which protects minors in this case. from pornography, from sexual harassment through digital means, and then coming to who investigates these cyber crimes. So, under IT Act, police officer of who is designated inspector and above is generally authorized to investigate cybercrime complaints. And under Section 80 of the IT Act, the same person is authorized. Officers may enter public places, search and arrest without warrant any person reasonably suspected of committing cybercrimes. Then, Secretary of IT in each state decides civil contravention cases under Section 43 and 43A of IT Act. Now, there are always and always have been, not have been, but yes, definitely the government is working in that order, that there are various provisions for women and children, to safeguard their rights. Is that proceedings under 376 IPC, that is punishment for rape, and Section 64 now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and POXO Act Section 26 are held in camera. All of these are recorded under camera. The reason behind this is, first, the offender can almost never threaten the victim in these cases, and all of this are well documented, taki there is no, for widely available, because in cases where the witnesses often turn hostile, and baad mein victims are always threatened to take back their cases. So these are well recorded and documented, because so that काफी सारे जो विक्टिम प्रोटेक्शन स्कीम्स होते हैं, इनफैक्ट विटनेसेस होस्टाइल होते हैं, तो जो विटनेस प्रोटेक्शन स्कीम्स होते हैं वो लोगों को मिल सके. देन आइडेंटिटी प्रोटेक्शन अंडर सेक्शन 23 पॉक्सो एक्ट, किसी भी माइनर के साथ जब इस तरीके का क्राइम होता है, so it prohibits disclosure of child's name, address, photograph, family details, any other information revealing identity. Now, there are few key components of serious cyber crimes, if I must say, is that they will be cognizable, they'll be non-bailable, that attempt to commit such crime will also be held culpable. Then, there is a whole process in which the cybercrime investigation goes. First, there'll be complaint or FIR registration, that citizens will file complaints at local police stations, transfer it to cyber cells. Now, cyber cells becomes responsible to, do forensic assessment or use digital forensic tools and techniques here. And then, obviously, forensic support, ISP collaboration, international coordination if it is needed, and then the charge sheet is filed. At the sake of repetition, this is the number again, that is 1930, which is the financial cyber fraud dial helpline number, which is 1930. The role of police agents is obviously investigating cyber crimes, gathering digital evidence, prosecuting offenders, and then these are the few reporting channels, which is state level mechanisms, the number 112, National Cybercrime Reporting Panel, IFOC. IFOC plays a fairly significant role in all of this. That National Cybercrime Portal, reporting portal itself operates under इंडियन साइबर क्राइम कोऑर्डिनेशन सेंटर के अंदर ही आता है, और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स उसे साथ में ऑपरेट करते हैं. Then there is state level coordination, since साइबर क्राइम केसेस में भी jurisdiction के issues होते हैं कि कहाँ जो कंप्यूटर रिसोर्स है वो कहाँ पाया गया. तो जुरिस्डिक्शन वहां का आएगा, या फिर विक्टिम का, या फिर क्राइम जहां ओरिजिन ऑफ क्राइम है, कॉज ऑफ एक्शन, तो ये सारी चीजें साइबर क्राइम्स में भी होती हैं, बट दे आर वेरी मच डाइल्यूटेड एंड डाइल्यूटेड इटसेल्फ बाय द गवर्नमेंट. जीरो एफआईआर का प्रोविजन या ये सारे प्रोविजंस इसलिए लाए गए हैं टू मेक इट मोर एक्सेसिबल फॉर द विक्टिम्स टू रिपोर्ट दीज क्राइम्स. Then this is the investigation process. पहले initial response, you call, preliminary investigation होता है, coordination, collaboration होता है. So the government do not operate in silos. It works with I4C, various internet service providers, various telecom authorities. There is a lot of forensic analysis that goes on behind, and then the legal part comes in, where जब सारा एविडेंस कलेक्ट हो जाता है और कंसोलिडेट हो जाता है तो चार्जशीट फाइल होती है, एंड देन द होल प्रोसेस इज किक्ड इन. So the key takeaways were, there are dedicated units, there is nationwide contribution, multi-channel reporting, and real-time response in cybercrimes. Right. Now, this is the end of my presentation, and I would definitely give me a minute. Yes. So now I would like to, put up a question by myself, that I would like to ask a yes or no question, that how many of my audience have actually witnessed even a petty cybercrime, or, if I hope not, but a serious cybercrime themselves, and what was their first move? If anyone is willing, we have probably 5 minutes. If anyone would like to give me a response with yes or no.
You can respond.
So
Okay.
someone says
Yes, Samarshita says yes. Um, yes, you may answer to the question posed by ma'am. Yes, Samarshita, you can speak.
So yes, I have been like a victim of that. Not me, I would say my parents. I stay in a different state, so I am belong from a different state. And my parents received a call in the morning stating that they were police and I have been arrested. And they like I was found in some hotel or something like that. Like they created an intense scenario which just really scared my parents. And I was sleeping at that moment and I didn't receive my parents' call. So they were in a panic mode and everything happened. And I called them back. And when I called them, then the phone call got cutted. And like I said them that it was fraud and everything like that. Yeah.
So, ma'am, one thing I would like to add up here, to those crimes which they are calling upon, or they are sending you the links. So if you will see, they will be targeting many people. Like they are not targeting only you, they are targeting many people. Let's say they are targeting 50 people, and if 25 would react, so their work is done there. Those 25 who would not react, they will not be touching those 25. The 25 ones who will react, their target is them, and they will work upon that. Up now, if you see those all 25, when they will ask 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, or however, whichever the amount is, if all of you give small amount, so in a day, imagine how much they will get it. I personally had this case with me. During my legal aid times, when I was in college, so we came up with like, there was a lady who came up that his like her student, her like that boy was being sexually harassed or something, and everything was happening that way. So she told us the story, and that was the case of this extortion itself, which already has been explained to you all. So if you will see, once you will talk to them in a very prominent way, in a very prominent manner, they will not take up that call. Also, once happened with me also, I got a call from somebody asking that your father, this called me. So my basic, like my full name is Srishti Agarwal. So he called me that Agarwalji called you. Like Agarwalji called me, and he's your father. So he just knows my last name. He doesn't know my father's first name. He doesn't know my first name. He just said Agarwalji called me and I want to put 5,000 in your account. I said, what's the name of my father? Please tell me the full name. And that's where the conversation breaks down. He immediately cuts the call, and he immediately just left over for me that no, this person has not been able to catch hold of it. So if you will be a little bit of interventious in that way, and if you will be intellectual in that particular situation, you can very well take up those situations, and you can very well prevent yourself from those situations.
Fact, even a very similar incident has happened to me, because they knew my name because my name is on Truecaller. And so, somehow they assume that my father is also uses the same surname while he does not. So, so very basic things that you have to take notice of, that and presence of mind here.
Correct.
Your presence of mind has to save you. In fact, not even presence of mind, even if you become a victim of such crimes, your presence of mind thereafter. All of us do become victims one or other way, however smart, we claim that we are. We are always culpable to such crimes. Okay. So, so Rohit says that not me, but there are some people known to me. They face the same situation, and I am able to help them to get rid of it from the situation. I think that is very well and very important. That there might be some things that and the others don't know. So you have to take a moment to be the bridge, play as the bridge where you share your information. In fact, share the recourses that you know about. Okay. Ma'am, according to you, are existing laws sufficient for AI related cases? In a manner, no. I think, a deepfake law is already under progression within, the legislation is already, we have something that we are looking forward to have been for some time. I hope there will soon be a deepfake protection law, because that is what has been the root cause of such maverick of cyber crimes. Everything is so genuine that you cannot bifurcate what is real. You Such harmless things on social media platforms that might not concern you, but you see them and then you scroll past them and they are AI, and you believe them to be true, and you have already assimilated that as knowledge. So in a way, no, that currently the laws at present are not sufficient for AI related cases. But even if an AI legislation comes in, the process will be entirely similar. जो भी prosecution का process रहेगा, that will be similar. There will be no separate agency, only the forensic wing जो operate करती है उसमें टैलेंट एक्विजिशन विल बी बेटर. अदर देन दैट, लेजिस्लेशन पे ना जाके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पे बहुत ध्यान देने की जरूरत है, बिकॉज आईटी एक्ट इतना बड़ा एक्ट है कि उसमें सब कुछ एसिमुलेट हो सकता है अगर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अच्छा हो तो. देन no, but if this happens to me, I will first understand the type of the problem and report it. I just hope you do it within 24 hours. So that's it. What is the difference between the options of report anonymously and report and track for filing complaints? Okay. Hurrying up, as I've told you before, आप रिपोर्ट anonymously में अपनी पर्सनल डिटेल्स अपने तक रख सकते हैं और उस इंसिडेंट को रिपोर्ट कर सकते हैं. पर आप का एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन जो आएगा वो है कि आपके फॉलोअप्स बहुत लिमिटेड होंगे, बिकॉज आप अपनी सारी डिटेल्स नहीं दे रहे हो. तो आप सिंस उनसे कांटेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हो तो आप फॉलो अप नहीं ले पाते हो, पर आप इंसिडेंट रिपोर्ट कर पाते हो जो आप ट्रैक नहीं कर पाओगे. इसलिए रिपोर्ट और ट्रैक में और रिपोर्ट अनोनिमसली में एक डिफरेंस बनाया गया है कि अगर आपने रिपोर्ट अनोनिमसली किया तो आप उसे ट्रैक नहीं कर पाओगे, पर वो इंसिडेंट रिपोर्ट होके उस पर काम हो जाएगा. पर रिपोर्ट एंड ट्रैक में ही होगा कि आपने अपने डिटेल्स दिए, आपने अपने रिपोर्ट अपना आपने जो भी आपके साथ हुआ वो सारा चीज नरेशन दिया, इंसिडेंट दिया, डिटेल्स दी, टाइम दी, और अब आप उसको टाइम टू टाइम ट्रैक कर सकते हो कि आपका जो भी डिटेल्स हैं, जो भी साइबर क्राइम रिपोर्ट, वो एग्जैक्टली किस स्टेटस पे है. दैट इज द ओनली डिफरेंस. नाउ can you please differentiate between cognizable and non-cognizable offenses? Okay. कॉग्निजेबल और नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंसेस में ये डिफरेंस होता है कि कॉग्निजेबल केसेस के लिए the police authorities are free to take cognizance of the offense without a warrant in the case, without involving the judicial authorities. वो उस ऑफेंस का कॉग्निजेंस ले सकते हैं विदाउट फॉर्मली उसको पहले एप्रीहेंड करके, उसको पहले उस चीज को पहले पकड़ेंगे, पहले एप्रीहेंड करेंगे, बाद में दे कैन टेक टू द जुडिशियल ऑथोरिटीज. पर पहले और नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंसेस में इसी चीज का उल्टा होता है कि अगर आपको उसको एप्रीहेंड करना है तो पहले आपको जुडिशियल ऑथोरिटीज से परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी. Now, I think this may be the last question. What does the HTTPS or H at the beginning of the URL, or it is I'm not the tech expert here, and but yeah, it is hyper transfer protocol. And I know the difference. Basically, it is that HTTPS, if you see it, it is secure. So S stands for that it is secured and encrypted. आप जो भी चीजें कम्युनिकेट करेंगे उस वेबसाइट पे, इट विल बी थ्रू एन एनक्रिप्शन. और जो HTTP होगा जिसमें S मिसिंग है, इट विल गो एज प्लेन टेक्स्ट, और उसमें एनक्रिप्शन नहीं होगा, उसमें वो प्रोटेक्शन नहीं होगा एडिशनल. That is the difference. And I think that was my last question. If anyone has anything more to ask to me, please do. I think if I have time. So, yeah.
If there are any more questions, you may very well put up. Or we can take the questions during in a chat or in on the Instagram. We will have those conversations forever, because all these instances are day-to-day happenings and are day-to-day of our works. So I do agree to that. You have to be a little present of mindful, and be a little in that manner that you need to take those things very seriously and very prominently while dealing with them. So if you will react in a very prominent manner, you will prevent those crimes very well. With this, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for providing the information and the legal support, how they can go ahead with that. I think most of them must be aware by now, and they will apply all of these things in their day-to-day life. So, the form we will be sharing in another minute. I just want to announce one thing. We are having a capacity building program which has been launched. I'm just sharing my screen. You can just take a look, and if anyone is interested, you can go ahead and you can, uh, yeah. You can go ahead with this program and you can apply for this. So this is a capacity building program for the students and the professionals both. It is an international program which has been in collaboration with National Network of Legal Aid Institutions and the BABE-SICL, which is also an international organization, bridges across borders, Southeast Asia, community legal education. The program is basically designed in a manner wherein you will be getting all the legal aspects which are required by the legal professionals, as in the lawyering skills, the courtroom drafting, the commercial drafting, the clinical legal education work, the research skills. Everything is designed in a manner. We have different of our resource persons who will be taking up these lectures, and you will be given the assignments based on that. Based on your understanding, we will be making you things realize which